Hello everyone, it's Jeff here, back with another Spin Zone video for you. This is Spin Zone number 26. Wow, I've already got 26 of these down, jeez. I don't know if you've seen or noticed or paid attention. In my last couple of contest videos, you might notice that the shelving speaker placement has kind of changed on my setup here. Space requirements have forced me to pull those speakers where they originally lived in this upper cube to be placed on top of the shelving unit. And I'm just going to turn the camera here so you can see them there. So yeah, I'm running out of space, so I had to do a little creative shuffling to get some more space to put my records. And I have to say, just in playing a few since the change, it definitely made a difference in the sound, which I expected, because having the speaker inside that little cube really didn't give it any like room to breathe, so to speak, you know. So having it on top there, not surrounded by anything, and there's at least a good foot of space, if not more, between the back of that speaker and the wall there. It definitely changed the sound. It made it a little more open, and it sounds really nice. So yeah, things are going to be changing back here. I got a a binder, a CD binder that holds 400 CDs, and like this big tower here that you see full of CDs is going to go away, and all of them I'm going to get rid of just about all of those jewel cases. I'm going to put everything into a binder, once again to save space and just to consolidate things a little bit. Because probably later this summer I'm going to get at least one more of these cube units from IKEA. And, well, if I had my way, if I had my financial way, I would get some new speakers too. But that's going to have to be down the road a little bit. I'm open to suggestions, though, for speakers, because I'm just open to suggestions. I can't decide if I want to go with another set of bookshelf type like these, maybe a little bit bigger, or if I want to go with floor standers. I'd like to go with floor standers, but we'll see. So if anybody has any suggestions for speakers, what they have, what they like, what sounds great to them, let me know. Put it in the comments down below. Okay. Cleaning up some old business. I won Psycho's Platters contest a couple weeks ago, and with that money I was able to buy 3 records, which I did off eBay, and it took a while because they were from 3 different sellers, but all 3 of them finally came in. So very quickly here I will show you exactly what I got. First one's not much of a surprise. This is one of the ones that I ended up tossing, but I got a newer-ish copy of Double Live REO Speedwagon. You get what you play for, and it's almost like a mint condition record. Actually, both of them are like that. So I liked this record when I played it. It just sounded like crap. I couldn't get it clean. I ended up tossing it, so I got a replacement copy. And this was super cheap, so that's why I got it too. Secondly is another one that I wanted to have on vinyl just because it's the first Chicago album, the Chicago Transit Authority album. I know it's not a flashy pick. I know it's not rare or obscure or anything, but I've never seen this. Never seen people show any Chicago albums on the VC. Hardly ever, I don't think. And this is their first album, and I know Chicago gets knocked for being like a limp ballad band, which is what they turned into in the 80s, but in the, well, this came out in 69. Their first probably 5 or 6 albums, or maybe 7, however many they made before Terry Kath died, are really pretty good. That's where most of all their hits come from. And this album is pretty, it's pretty rockin'. It's pretty, it's almost, it was new. It was like you didn't have a band that incorporated a horn section so well into their sound. Of course, down the road it became something of a anchor around their neck because they really couldn't change their sound very much with the horn section being what it was. But for this, I'll show this so everyone can see it better. This CTA album was one of my favorites, and I just wanted to own it on vinyl. And it's, is this a 2i? No, it's not a 2i. But I think this came out, I think this was a mid-70s repress. And it's in very nice shape, so I was glad to get that. And third, I got Johnny Winter's first album for Columbia Records. This one is a 2i, if I recall correctly. Yes, this is a 2i. Very nice shape record. And yeah, this is the first one that he made for Columbia when he signed with them. And I've kind of been on a Johnny Winter kick here lately. So I wanted to get this one, and I found it for a good price. You know, ring wear on the cover, but that's okay. The record's in nice shape. That's really what I care about the most. So that's what I got for those contest winnings. So thank you, Paul, the mighty Psycho himself. That was a good contest. And yeah, can't wait to enter your next one, which I'm sure will be coming soon because I know you've gotten a ton of subscribers through that contest. So that's good. That's how these things are supposed to work. Okay, what I've been listening to here over the last weekish has kind of, it's not, there's not going to be a ton of records, but there kind of is. And you'll see when I show you what they are. First up, I posted this on Facebook last week. Get the Knack. Take it out of the shiny sleeve. And it's still shiny. That's okay. I picked this one up. I think I flashed this one on one of my other videos. I think it was the rant video. I picked this up from that guy. And this one cleaned up pretty well. It's a pretty good playing record. And I had no other experience with the Knack other than my Sharona, like pretty much everybody else. And I was very pleased with this record. I was very... I didn't expect a whole lot, you know, beyond my Sharona, but I have to say, song after song, I was like, wow, this is really good. So, yeah, this is a great album. It's a late 70s power pop classic. Get the Knack. I'm probably late to the party on this one for all those who already know about this record. Sorry, but our musical journeys are all a little bit different, aren't they? So, yeah, this is a pretty good album, I have to say. I was very glad to get it, and it's in nice condition. It plays good. And what more can you ask for? Get the Knack. And now we've got the big boy. This one came in the mail last week or the week before. It's the very heavy reissue of Pink Floyd's live album Pulse. As you can see, it is a 4-record set, and it comes with a nice hardcover book as I whack myself in the head with it. And there's the back. And each record has its own unique cover. I'm not going to pull all 4 of them out, but I'll show you this first one here. Like that. And each one has a nice thick cardboard inner sleeve that holds the record. Ugh, I could just put this one on my shoulder. I was very glad to get this. Original copies of this album from when it came out, I think this came out in '95, are just stupidly expensive. And so I was very glad to see that this got a reissue on vinyl. So when it did, I pre-ordered this on Amazon when I first heard about it a while ago. And then I got surprised in the mail saying that this showed up. So, yeah, I listened to this with my wife over the course of a couple of days because it's a 4-record set, so it took a while to get through it. And this was remastered by Bernie Grundman. I believe I didn't save the hype sticker on this one, but I believe it was pressed at RTI. I'm fairly certain, and the records all sound fantastic. I didn't have any issues with that. I didn't expect there would be, and this was just this was a great set. I had this on CD, or I think she had it on CD, but I haven't listened to this in probably years and years and years. So it was nice to get reacquainted with this album. So Pink Floyd's Pulse was a nice get. I'm gonna put it down now because my arms are killing me. It's heavy. Ooh, I'm sure you all heard that. Another 4-record set that I spent a couple of days listening to, because 4 records is a lot to get through, is the Allman Brothers live at the Atlanta Pop Festival. This was a Record Store Day purchase, and it's a 4-record set, but it's not a gatefold. It's like just in this slightly wider album sleeve, which I'm not thrilled about. There's the set list. It's from 2 concerts, July 3rd and July 5th of 1970 at the Atlanta Pop Festival. This is basically the same set that they played on Fillmore East, with very little variation. I think, well, not both shows aren't exactly the same, but I've had one complaint about this record. It's that they have there's like three of the sides of this set are just Mountain Jam, and it's like, come on already. You're killing me with this stuff. I mean, it's Mountain Jam's okay. It's not my favorite Allman Brothers tune. It's like this. It's just a long instrumental jam, you know. But like on the July 5th show, the entire second album is just Mountain Jam on both sides. I got a little. It's not something I'm gonna be playing over and over again, but the other stuff I will. It's just a nice excuse to hear slightly different variations of the songs famous on Fillmore East, and you know, hearing Duane Allman play is always a treat, even though the songs are alike. So yeah, when I saw this released for Record Store Day, I had to get it, and yeah, I mean, I probably wouldn't recommend this one for newbies to the Allman Brothers. I would say check out the Fillmore East set first. You know, some of their other live stuff first before coming to this. I mean, this is good, but like I said, it's probably for hardcore fans more than just the average consumer. Because, yeah, unless you really like Mountain Jam, which you can always look up on YouTube if you want to know what that song sounds like. It's really, it's not my best. It's not their best. But everything else on this record is stellar. I mean, there's a couple of versions of Memory of Elizabeth Reed, which is a great instrumental. I could listen to that all day long. So I guess it all depends on where you're coming from with these guys. But this was still a nice get. The Allman Brothers live at the Atlanta Pop Festival over July 4th weekend in 1970, when they were at the peak of their powers of the original lineup. So this was a good one. Like I said, between this record and Pulse, I mean that's 8 albums to listen to right there. So that was a lot of information to go through. So, like I said, there's not going to be a great giant variety of records. In fact, the last one, which I just played yesterday, just because I wanted something short and I wanted to play it again, is Mudhoney's Superfuzz Big Muff. I got this one late last year. It was a recommendation of Andrew's, and Here's the back. I don't know if I talked about this album at all. I think I showed it as a find, but I don't think I talked about the music. This is largely regarded as like the first grunge album. And it's easy to see the influence it had, especially on bands like Nirvana, because they took a lot of their sound from these guys easily. I mean, you play this and you're like, wow, Nirvana really, I'm not going to say ripped them off, but let's just say borrowed heavily from the Mudhoney sound on this record anyway. But yeah, this is actually an EP. It's a reissue on Sub Pop Records, and it's just yeah. I mean, looking at it, you know, almost 30 years later. Well, actually, it is 30 years later. This album came out in 1988 originally. You can see how probably back in 88 it probably would have had a much bigger impact because the sound would have been that much different. Looking at it in hindsight, you're like, okay, yeah, they're kind of grungy, but the music is pretty stellar, I have to say. This is a good one just to put on and just crank, which is exactly what I did yesterday. So, even though it wasn't in my rolling record crate, you know, I pulled it out of the stacks here just because I wanted something else to listen to, something that wasn't so long and involved like the Allman Brothers and Pink Floyd, just to kind of free my mind up a little bit and, you know, loosen things up a little bit. But yeah, this is a great album, great EP. Sorry, Superfuzz Big Muff by Mudhoney. Great stuff, I gotta say. And that's it. That's what I've got for you this week. I entered a couple of contests. Good luck to everyone that also entered. I've also been enjoying the prize winners of Robert Z's contest as they open their surprise packages. That's been pretty fun to watch. And hope everybody has a good weekend. And weather is actually going to let up a little bit on the heat. It's only going to be in the 70s around here in Chicago this weekend, which is nice. I should hopefully be back with a video again next week. And take care, everyone. Peace. I'll see you later.